11 Facebook advertising tips for your martial arts school, or if you have a small business, this will still be applicable. So, wanted to go live today and go over these tips with you. I've had really great feedback about this, so I wanted to actually come on and share this with you. So, let's get started with this. And this is something that I know is going to help you tremendously because I'm going to talk about trends as well, what I've seen that is going to be helpful for 2023. And yeah, let's get started with this. So, so here is Facebook advertising tips. I'm just going to quickly see it that you guys can see it. Yep. So with this, what I'm going to be talking about is it's really important that you take these points on board because this is obviously from what I've been doing with clients and everything. This is the first time that you're jumping on this and you don't know who I am. My name is Swapnil. I'm based here in Peterborough. I've helped over 500 businesses, local businesses. 300 plus of them have been martial arts schools. So what we do in our agency and coaching programs, we build marketing systems and I specialize a lot in Facebook marketing. So basically been doing this for quite a while, so really and I have active clients, a lot of them. So this stuff that I'm sharing with you is really from what I've seen that's been working really well. So in these 11 points, what I'm going to be going over is talking about how to start with an overperforming post, second engagement ads, talking about pixels, customer list, short videos, getting educated. I mean, there's quite a lot of stuff in this presentation and things that I think is going to help you massively. So I'm just going to quickly just jump out of this, just make sure you guys can see this. All right. If you guys can hear me okay as well, please let me know in the chat, just so that I can see that you guys can hear me all right. I think you should be able to. Just double check in. Oh, let me just come out of this share because that gets a bit trippy, doesn't it? So hopefully you guys can hear me okay in the group, and this is obviously streaming on my page as well and YouTube. But while I'm checking this, one of the things that I want you guys to take on board is when you're doing these kinds of things, yeah, it is streaming fine. So when you're doing Facebook ads, a lot of times I hear from people is that they're worried about spending money on ads, or they're not sure, don't have the confidence with it, and they don't know if they're doing the right things or not. So these tips I'm sharing with you, some are going to be a bit basic, but some are really foundational stuff that you should be doing. And let's get back into the main presentation bit for you. So, as mentioned, these are 11 things that I'm going to go over. First one, Facebook advertising. Well, it's very specific. It has awesome targeting options, and you can get really laser targeted with it if you know what you're doing, really, with the interests and knowing exactly who your customer base is. And it's a great resource for small businesses and martial arts schools. You know, it literally doesn't matter what kind of local business you are. This is still going to work for you. So another really good benefit is that it's got really clear reporting. So obviously after the iOS update, it's not like that side of reporting is not good. But if you're keeping everything inside of Facebook itself, the reporting is really good. So definitely make sure that you're utilizing it. And then the benefits endless. You know, once you utilize this tool to your ability, really you will get results. You will. I mean, there's so many people I've worked with that have scaled their businesses very quickly from, you know, understanding how to write good offer, making sure that the Facebook ads is targeted well to the right people. It makes a really, really big difference. And then I've sat down with some school owners and some local businesses, and this is really the tried and tested procedures. So let's start with number one, overperforming posts. This is something very underlooked, and most people don't really do this. Is, you know, if you've got your own page and you're literally doing, you know, if you got your own page and you're posting content on there, one of the things you should pay attention to is this bit, is literally is seeing if posts get interaction. Because the thing with Facebook ads is that if there's a post already performing really well, then it's a really good indicator from Facebook itself saying that, yeah, it likes that content. So some marketers may just do the opposite and boost a post if it needs a little bit help. But the trick with this is that you should look at what is performing. So if a post is already engaging with others, then imagine the attention it'll receive by a paid campaign as well. You'll see quickly more like comments and higher traffic to your site when you actually boost these performing posts. That Facebook has already kind of shown it to people and is like proven. So second thing is engagement ads. Engagement ads are underlooked. It used to be a big thing, especially in the martial arts. Everyone was doing boost ads, but it's still there. Still, you just need to use it in a different way. So my big tip really with this is that to expand your reach, start using page post engagement. You know, we used boost posts a lot in the TAP system program, but for Facebook pages to get a healthy amount of traffic and likes organically, you know, boost does help. But due to Facebook's algorithm, some posts never actually see the range of followers. So one big thing that you might not be aware of is that if you make a post on Facebook, only like 2-3% of people will actually see it. If you've got like 1,000 followers, then there's not many people that are actually going to see it. So this is why you need to actually use engagement ads and boost posts, because by running this, your content will get out to your audience. You get likes, comments, you know, all that stuff that people look at. But it creates engagement. The main thing is getting your brand out there. So I'm hoping this kind of you understand. So like engagement ads is not just engage. I mean, you are trying to get engagement, of course, but keep it simple. Make things like sometimes people forget that social media is also meant to be fun. So, you know, if you're going all serious in things on your page and add some fun elements, you'll find that actually will perform better than most of your other things. So before I get into this next step, I can see that some people are live with me, and just wanted to double check with you all. Like, really, is that if you guys can hear me okay? I can see the chat thing on here, and I didn't want to like just keep talking if you guys can't hear me. Let me just double check. By running it, yeah, you can. Yeah, I'll just check my back. So when you're using boost ads, do remember that boosting is just another. There are different objectives in the back end of Facebook. You have conversion ads, lead form ads, engagement ads, messenger ads. They're all different things. They all have a different objective. Why it's called active on there, but engagement is literally going to get you more engagement. So make sure you use the right kind of format and the right kind of post that will actually people will like. You know, so give you a big tip here really is like you can use engagement ads on videos as well. It doesn't just have to be posts. One big thing I see in the martial arts industry, people putting pictures of kids with star of the week and things like that, which is great. You should put it out there, but have a think about how more engaging it would be if it was a video. So it's a good tip for you there. Next thing is Facebook Pixel. So what is it? Why do you need it? I mean, if you're a small business or martial arts school, you know, if you've got a website, then you need to get a pixel on there. It is going to disappear in a few years from what I hear, but the tracking is not the best with the pixel these days, but unless you're using other software like Hyros and things like that. But you still should put your pixel on eventually on your website, just because it does actually still gather data. It's not that it's going to gather all the data, but it's still good. So aim to do this before you even start thinking about creatives, targeting, ad campaign budgets. By having that on there, it's just a piece of code. Literally, you can put it on in the header section. If you don't know how to do it, then just find someone that understands websites. They all know how to do this. What they should do. So it's quite easy to do. And if you're not sure how to go and find it and stuff, literally go on YouTube. There's tons of videos that show you it. But once it's installed, what it does, it collects data, and it tracks conversions from your Facebook ads, and also your remarketing is like also called retargeting. So it does that as well. And then once you're monitoring this properly, then you can start to see what is actually working, what ads should you scale, what ads should you stop. Of course, with the data nowadays being a bit, it depends if you're running conversion ads and funnels and stuff, then you will need a third-party software to make sure it is accurate. But if you're keeping everything inside of Facebook itself, like I mentioned earlier, then the data is still very, very accurate. Next, upload your customer list. This is so underused that people are not aware of, is that you can actually upload your customer list that you have, people who've actually bought things from you, into Facebook, and Facebook will match these for you. And then you can start sending ads to them. So when you're running like retargeting ads or content-driven Facebook ads campaigns, consider this, use your email addresses that you have, because then once you upload this into Facebook, it just will know what kind of people you're after as well. And it won't match them all, but it'll develop a really personalized audience for you, which is really, really cool. And then by limiting the audience just to like existing customers, Facebook can also make it customized. So what does that say? They use this a lot in the e-commerce world. Is say someone actually buys something from you, then they will send you an ad and say, hey, thanks for your purchase, and then they might upsell you something else. So you can create really awesome customer journey processes with this. So the next thing, this is really important one, is focus on ROI and then start optimizing. So what does this mean? Is really ended, you're running ads and you need to make sure you're making money back. But it does really matter, like for you to look at, okay, how are you going to get that money back? So if you're looking at case studies, might be reading some blogs and stuff, you'll see people talking about click-through rates, cost per click, all this stuff. And it is important to know, but when it's something that comes much line. Every business and its target audience is different. So these values are going to vary. Something that is in e-commerce world is going to have much higher click-through rates and stuff compared to if you're doing a local business or your martial arts industry. So to keep it really dependent on like the many different factors, time of week, year, audience, all this stuff. So make sure that you keep that in mind. But one thing you should really focus on is ROI. In the end of the day, you're spending money on that, making your profit. That's the only metric you really need to be looking at end of the day. If it's not making you profit, then switch it off. You just can't aimlessly spend money out. Or once you start breaking even, at least, then you can start optimizing your ads, because this is where you can start saying, okay, yeah, that ad has brought me 10 students or 10 clients, 10 customers. Then yes, it's working. Let's look at improving the creative. Let's improve the CTRs, click-through rates, and all this stuff. That comes, as you can see, it comes much later on. It's not right at the early stages where people just get too technical with it all. Next thing is, this is something that you would have noticed already. Short videos, big thing right now. TikTok, Reels, stories, all this kind of stuff. But the thing is that what I say to you is you need to look at what your audience wants as well. I mean, you can take different audiences on Facebook, but you need to stand as well is if your message is dialed in, and if your audience is not actually looking on stories, or they're not actually on TikTok or things like this, then don't waste your time on it. But if they are, then you should look at refining your message and then make it really tailored to that you can get the best results. And also encourage people to use short videos. I would say use it in your ads, because people's behaviors are very different now. What it was a few years back. With the rise of TikTok, everyone likes these shorter, educational kind of videos. It's not all just singing these days. So make it really engaging, and then that stuff works really well on ads. So that's what's going to improve your ad performance as well. And then look at what results you get, and then tweak the ad and the targeting, and then try again. So ads are like constant. You have to test. If you're just putting stuff and saying this ad didn't work, yeah, Facebook ads is crap, it don't work, then that's not really the way. But once you find something that's giving you results, and you will want to do more of it. But the world of Facebook advertising, doesn't matter which advertising, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, all these places, you have to test and repeat the pattern. You won't. It's very unlikely. Like people who've been in my tap system itself, there's some that get really crazy results right at the start because they just managed to get the targeting and everything right. But there's a lot of people that it takes quite a few iterations of the ad for it to work. So do keep that in mind when you're doing this kind of stuff. Next thing, get educated. This is big. Don't just go out there and start wasting and boosting stuff. You're just wasting your money. But Facebook is evolving. It's changing all the time. Things that work now, well, what used to to work a few years back doesn't work now. And but one thing I would emphasize for you is to go and look at the Facebook Blueprint. It's free. It has lots of great practices in there and lots of great info. And that's a brilliant place for you to start when you're starting to educate yourself. But before you spend any money, spend time learning it. If you need help, obviously reach out to me. Obviously, I'll specialize in the outside of things. But you don't just go out there and just think, okay, I'll spend 20 quid here, £20 here, $20, whichever currency you're on. And then what will happen is if you count up how much you've probably spent doing that, it's probably in the thousands, you see. So why don't you just get educated and make sure you do it right from the start? Lookalike audiences, this does help a lot. Still is not as powerful as it was a few years back, but it still works really well. A lot of my ads are on lookalike. But what this is literally Facebook is duplicating your audience. So if you got like an audience that is working, for example, you upload a customer list, or you upload a audience of, you're targeting like interests that people are into, fitness or martial arts, whatever it is. And then you see that audience working, then Facebook will duplicate that audience for you and find you like another 100,000 people that are exactly the same as that audience. So it's a really clever and powerful way of finding stuff, So these engaged audiences are more likely to take the next step, buy stuff from you. So create these lookalike audiences, look into what's worked. If you're running lead form ads, messenger ads, and things like that, you have a look at creating lookalikes. You'll find that would work really well. But Facebook automatically picks new users, who have similar backgrounds to your high quality audience. So as I already mentioned, Facebook looks at this group of people and says, here's a carbon copy of other people for you, go on with it. Next one, don't cast a wide net. What this means is Facebook advertising is based on inputs to give the algorithm to figure out who to show it to. So whatever you provide to Facebook at the start, once it starts learning your pixels, start learning the behaviors of your ads performing, you'll start to see that it's an algorithm. It learns. So by filtering and narrowing down your ads to be very relevant at the start, so like traffic and everything like this, you'll get much better return on your advertising. So ROAS, you might have seen this, a lot of marketers about it, literally means return on ad spend. But it's better to go in more narrow and specific to your audience. So for example, if you're selling coffee, you can target interest based on other coffee companies with Facebook followings. And then if you wanted to, you could refine this further and then add a few more other things. But when you compare this approach, targeting an age group alone is likely to deliver a better ROI. So meaning, say you did the coffee thing and you said, I just want 20 to 30-year-olds who are into coffee, then that's refining it. And then your product will sell better if it's geared to that specific demographic. And then, as it says here, you can use demographics and then just double down. Don't have to keep doing things. You don't have to always be testing. If you see something that's working, then spend more money. Don't be afraid of spending money on ads. It really well. And then also, this is really more of a hack, I suppose, to kind of make your ads not look like ads. So people nowadays, I'm sure this is the same with you. If you see an ad, you'll skip past it more than likely, or if it engages, you'll catch your attention. But we can kind of know when an ad is coming nowadays. It's very, very easy to spot them. But if you can start looking at how do I make this not look like an ad, it will perform so much more better for you. And then what you can do is look at some posts from people who fall in your target demographic, learn the way they speak in their posts, and then just try doing that. Try in that way. And if they don't realize it's an ad, you'll find that you'll get more reach, you'll get more people will be seeing your ads. And then obviously in turn, what does that do? You get more brand exposure, you get more results, you get more buying your stuff. Now, always end with a call to action. I see this a lot. People just do ads, but they will never put what they want people to do after. If you get someone to do, if you got their attention, which is the hardest bit, tell them to do something. Tell them, look, go to my website, or go to here, go to wherever. It's literally people what to do the next step, because if you don't, they won't do it. So take the time to understand what content your audience engages with most. And this can be done by looking at insights in your business page. You've got the business suite and all that stuff. You can go in there. There's a lot of data in there that you can look at, what kind of people loving and what they want. And then pay attention as well at the time and day that content was released, and then you doing more of it. And once you understand what content and time is based, and then you can make a strategy that resonates more to your audience. Like for me, I know we generally martial artists and people is around this time, like midday to lunchtime is generally when most of you guys are online. So why do you think I keep doing content at this kind of time? Have you find out what it is with parents, and find out what it is for your audience itself, and then that's when you'll find that your content will get more reach, which is what we want. So make sure you always put a call to action though at the end. It makes a big like something like follow this link, let us know what you think in the comments. So that is also try getting engagement on there. Make sure that you hit the follow button, stay up to date with all the latest info. And here's my call to action. So if you need to get in touch, obviously this is on Facebook, and if you're watching on YouTube and stuff, you can obviously just search on me on Google. You'll find me on Facebook as well, Swapnil Garg. If you wanted to reach out to me and email me, swapnil@advancedmarketer.com. But I hope you found this useful. These are 11 points. I've gone fairly quickly, but these will help you massively in the way of getting more exposure, getting people to see your stuff. Facebook, awesome. I do love it. It's just it's a game changer, really. It's making advertising has become so much easier than what it was like from like 5-6 years ago. So I would say for you guys to literally, if you're not doing any ads or anything like this, then do them, because they do work. One big thing you will notice is the ad costs are going up. So if you've been doing some already, you will notice that. So don't waste time, because next year ad costs will probably go higher. So it's much better you spending money right now and start building your email lists and building your retargeting audiences and all stuff. Just remember that advertising is not an expense. You're actually investing in your business, because you're gathering the data, gathering the audiences. And this is when you start remarketing to them, like emails and texts and all this stuff, it's actually free then, isn't it? So look at it in that kind of lens, and you'll completely change your business and your school, and it will help you a lot. So I've written some notes up as well. So if you watched all the way to here and you want some notes on this topic and things, just comment notes below, and then I'll reach out to you and give it to you. So have a great weekend, and whenever you're watching this, and I'll see you in the next live. Cheers.